What you eating for dinner?
All right, shalom, Rizal. Shalom, y'all. Lashawan Qadash, all brothers. Shalom, y'all.
I'm sorry,
Shalom, y'all. Shalom, all sisters. There's the Friday Hebrew class. Lashawan Qadash. Officer was on today.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. And
That's right.
today you're going to become a little bit of a audible. Has something else different, but you know how life goes. All right, so today we're going to just touch on some subject pronouns. Then we're going to do some vocabulary work. Just get a few out there. So today, just some subject. You guys a few subject pronouns. All right, so you got. So now I said. I took. And I roll. All right.
I'm gonna be in the back.
These are all said, took, rule. Is kind of considered Amara. Yeah. All right, that's how you say it. That's how you say I said. In Hebrew, you want to say, you that took something, you say, la kakwa, la kakwa, right? So, la kakwa be took. You want to say that it was you that did it, or you're saying that it was me. You add the first one, you add the daya. Just know that the daya is normally universal, right? You just pretty much slapped on there, and it'll mean that it was you. I was pointing out who it is. You're saying that I ruled, right? And Malak. So we know that Malak means rule, ruler. I'm saying that you say that I rule. Say Tanya. Right. All right, so the Tanya right here. So this thing that you have right here, that's really showing who took possession, right? So Taya is what I is. All right. So once you put Taya, you know that at the end, you can call it another what's the word? Not preposition, but you can call it another possessive, right? Not possessive, it's possessive, yes. But it's another word that's coming at the end of the word. So you never hear Taya Malak. That'd be wrong. In English, you'll say I ruled, right? That's how you speak in English. But in Hebrew, you'll say Malak Taya, I ruled. Right? And as normally, I'm going to give you guys the Hebrew for it too. So like, you know what it looks like in the Hebrew. So you're reading it, you know exactly what you're reading. Space. You do it down here. All right, here's the first one. First one is Amara Taya. Right. What that look like in Hebrew. You're reading the Sabbath service. It look like this. Read that better. All right. We're still over here. The next one. Qua, ka. Make sure you a little gutter sound with that ka. All right. Differentiate between that and the bigger ka. All right. Yeah. All right. Again, for the brother that reading the Sabbath service, you know what you're looking at. Make sure because the ka and the ta look so similar in the Assyrian Hebrew. Make sure that you always remember that the ta has that little leg, little tail at the end to where you know you can better differentiate. Easy to get slipped up in the Hebrew and mistake the ka for a ta. All right, then last one, Hebrew gonna get malak.
You say these are a subject pronoun, huh?
Constantly, yeah. So usually just telling you who the subject in the sentence is. So the verb would be right here, like ruled, took, or said, but the taya is saying that it is you. So it changes that to the pronoun, and the I being yourself makes you the subject. Because we know that the nouns are a person, place, or thing. So the taya makes it into the person.
That's for Malak.
So this right here is the malak. Taya right here.
6 o'clock in the morning.
All right, so again, the first group we're gonna do for these subject pronouns. We got Amar, Amara Thaya, which is I said. Lakwa Ka Thaya, which is I took. Just know that Lakwa means took. All right, and then last but not least, you have Malak Thaya. Don't forget so we can differentiate in the ancient Hebrew, the connector right there. Typeface for this one. So you know that these two are connected. So you know that when you see this and you hear it in the Assyrian, you know that this is also Malak right here, then Thaya. All right, so give it a minute, second for everybody to copy it down. We'll move on.
So in the English, it would be like you put I said, or is it I took, and I ruled. So instead of saying the I, you're just gonna say you can make it you.
So instead of saying right here, instead of like in English, we would say like I say I took something. Like so in English, you always say the I will come first, making you the pronoun. In the Hebrew, and like most Eastern languages, right? The was to turn it into the pronoun always come at the end of the word. So instead of saying I took, in the Hebrew be la kwaka ya instead, which is I took in the Hebrew, or like I said, like with I ruled. So we know that malak means ruler. So it's saying
So like in the Hebrew, right? So we all know it's from right to left. So instead of saying I ruled, you say ruled I. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's how it is in a lot of Eastern languages, even in Spanish sometimes too. A lot of times you'll say, a lot of times things will be backwards because everybody else, majority of the planet reads right to left.
Mm-hmm.
Only in English and maybe a couple other languages is it left to right.
Right.
So the black man's language is the only one that's ass backwards on the planet.
Right. No. Right. And that makes a lot of sense.
So like even like you see it in the Hebrew, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like in English, like you write it from this way, from left to right.
Right.
When the Hebrew, you read it start at this end,
right to left.
and read from right to left. It's, again, like it's the way I put it, right? The way it made it easier for me to read like that. If you've ever read any like Japanese comic books, they always even they translate from English, right? It's always read from right to left. So if you're already read something like that, come to the Hebrew and read it from right to left, not a big deal. When you haven't read anything like that, for your brain to kind of process that, it takes a little bit longer because your brain is so used to going from left to right.
Right. No, yeah. As you said, this place is so backwards. Now you see why other countries like the Chinese can come over here and thrive. You know what I'm saying? Because that makes sense.
So yeah, good thing with the Chinese too, like Chinese with the Arabs, everybody like that. Mm-hmm. One thing they still got over all of us is that they still have their language.
Right.
They still have the way of writing. So even if they gotta learn how to write in English,
Mhm.
they're still able to switch everything over just as easier into the English. Like even taking when I was talking about my kid's mama with about her learning English, she came over, so it was easier because a lot of the words are the same, just that just the difference is writing it in English.
Right.
Because like I said, sometimes some Spanish words would be read backwards. So like you might say like I took, but in Spanish it's like you're saying took I.
No, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it takes time to get used to it. Move to the next group of words. Yeah, well, probably the hardest thing is learning to read it with the actual characters. The next group of words is going to be this one. The little small. That's really small. Be I stood. I remembered. And I went. So for stood would be Ahmad. Remembered would be Zakar. And then went would be Halak. All right, and just like before, when it's these are it's I lost my verbs, right? Or verbs in an action, right? To make it saying that it was you. So again, you just throw on the Daya. Right. So you're saying that I did something, like I was sitting in the chair, I just say, I stood Ahmad Daya. All right, or you have you remember something, Zakar Daya, or you went somewhere, Halak Daya. Saying those things that I remember. So
And halak, yes, halak, yeah, is when I.
counts.
That's what you're saying, okay. Because everything is backwards.
Huh.
I went when I. Okay. I remembered I. Which remembered I sounds a lot. That makes a lot more sense than I remember, actually. Remembered I, like, yeah. That sounds like, that's when you hear in the movies, like the old English movies, like back in the day, that's how they speak. Remembered I, like things like that, so it makes sense.
So yeah, we got you gotta remember too, like the white man takes a lot of he takes a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? He takes a lot of a lot of not a cow. What's the word I'm looking for? No, he's a thief.
Right.
he's a thief. There was a, you know what I'm saying? They because they also said that was like the Anglo-Saxon way of speaking, right? That's what they said they were English grew out of.
Mm-hmm.
There was a I'll get the name on it on the Edomite who decided he wanted to research the Anglo-Saxons. We're always told that these were white men who brought up England and all that other stuff, right? Mm-hmm. England, they had Wales and all that. If you all know and hear that, King James was a black man.
Right.
King James was an actual Anglo-Saxon.
Right. Oh.
The white man did research. He went back further in time. He realized that Anglo-Saxons were dark-skinned people.
So he said a white man knowing that and speaking on the English comes from that. That's what he's saying. English comes from the Anglo-Saxons. You saying?
Kind of. So like a lot of the more Western dialects all have traces of Hebrew in it.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. So you're saying the white man make that knowledge known that he got it from the Anglo-Saxon, or is you saying that he got it?
So he's making known that the Anglo-Saxons were not always white people.
Oh, okay.
So he's saying that they were black people.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you were saying that.
Yeah. So once again, but even then, like he more likely stole that from us anyway.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As you know, you get further apart. Sometimes dialects change up depending on the area. So. You know what I'm saying? The white man being the devil, your oppressor, the thief, biggest thief in the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just put it bluntly. Anytime you're Anglo-Saxon, the white people claim it, but once again, that was us at the end of the day.
Right.
With Anglo being, I don't want to say it wrong, but I believe Anglo-Saxon meant children of the promise or children of the covenant. Something to that effect. But I'm gonna get the information on it again because I had it at the house somewhere written down. That's not for people who didn't know that.
Yeah, because when you look it up, it's speaking of Anglo-Saxons, says relating to or denoting the Germanic inhabitants of England from their arrival in the 5th century up until Norman conquest. So reading that alone, as you're saying, it sounds as if they talking about white people.
Constant.
5th century, we was in rulership, the 5th, 6th, 7th century, Byzantine Empire and stuff, we was ruling and stuff like that.
And according on here, they're saying that the Normans were originally Vikings at Scandinavia. You know what I'm saying? So by their, that's why I asked, are they saying it or are you saying it? Cause we know they're a devil. You know what I'm saying? For them to actually come out and say they are some black Anglo-Saxon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that was devil who wrote a book. He wanted to research.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Damn, okay.
Yeah, he wanted to know the ancestry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the devil exposed another one, huh?
Yeah. That's it. So he said the further he went back, the darker the skin that people got.
Right. No, right.
So just like that so-called Jewish man that wrote the book, the 13th tribe.
Oh shit! That was a Jewish man that wrote that.
Oh
wow! I thought it was a
Martha Costa.
Okay. I knew it was the Edomite, but I didn't know it was. He's actually the one that actually wrote it is from the Khazar baby. Oh wow.
Yeah. So like Babe said, like these things will come out.
Right.
Our people don't listen to us when we try to tell them these things. Let it come from the white man. They care all day from us. That like we still got to fight them on the Bible not being a white man's book.
No, right. Right. In 2022, they still speaking on it as if it's their book. And like you said, to hear us talk about it, that it's not a white man's book. It's foreign to many people today. So
I'm just put these in the ancient and the Syrian Hebrew. I think it's always good to have those up here, so that way the brothers who, or sisters know who are going to read the Hebrew, right? Know what it looks like, add it to your vocabulary. For the brothers who have to read on the Sabbath, knowing what they look like in the Hebrew helps out a lot. So first one we have I like the labels. All right, so there we got the in the Paleo Hebrew, Syrian Hebrew, ones that be more familiar with. Just as a side note, connect yourself was out today, knowing which characters are combined together. While the see the old connector is this character, you can see the smiley face. They're connected between two letters. See the kind of the sad face. That character will be pronounced in its entirety. So you'll say ha. You see these two characters connected, be locked. Once again, there's two sad faces. Just say them outright. Tha ya. Just as a little reminder for that. Once again, knowing that, because if you read, especially you have one in the school, if you read Old Torah, you're not going to see the connectors there. You know, that's even if you look at one of the old stone tablets that they use for the impressions for the characters, you won't see the connectors on there either. So this just more so for you to I lost my train of thought.
Just for teaching purposes.
Just teaching purposes. Again, it just helps you remember how each word is said.
So you're saying in the original, like you won't find any of those, as you said, sad faces or
The sad face
in
constant.
them. So they basically expect you to know, like that's like they expect you to know that's Malak. Malak. What's that?
So now here would be halak taya.
Halak Tayel, right? So they expect you to know that's Halak Tayel. That's what you're saying, right? So they don't have any. They don't have the pronouns.
The focus is
Connectors,
constant.
right?
If I could, I realize it's kind of like how in English when we're being taught English,
Right.
we know to say orange, and not orange, or we know already to say computer and not computer.
Right.
So it's kind of like that. So when you get taught it, in
There's
time
only
past,
one way you could say that. That's what you're saying.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I got you. That's what I was.
So they didn't need the connectors, but now we do because we
Because we're learning this baby all over.
Yeah, if I can, we just grab right here. Show real quick.
And Slacky, I didn't mean to keep cutting you off. I didn't know that.
No, so this is good. Like you said, you see right here. I'll show the class too. So,
Come on, okay, that's what. Okay.
so it's not like the even in the Syrian Hebrew, like you didn't hit the Syrian Hebrew, like the so-called Jerusalem. He has all kind of little what are they called? Little symbols to help you.
diacritical
That's diacritical marks to help you pronounce certain words in
dots
Hebrew.
and stuff you find.
Yeah. So, but back then they weren't used. I'll
Okay.
show them the class. This is what they would look like in the Assyrian. You can see that too good. So that's how you were reading. That's how they read it then.
Right.
Like also Proc was saying, just like we learning like orange. Now we know we're not saying orange.
Right.
Even though that's how we pronounce in Japanese. It's funny. So I'll give that a minute up. Then we'll move on to some vocabulary words. All right. As before, you know what I'm saying? That's like you know what I'm saying, these classes are recorded, you know what I'm saying, after being live streamed, so you'll need to go back, cut the words again, always catch the replay. Got this part. We're gonna do one more thing before we get into some vocabulary words. Time. Far wrong. All right. We're just gonna do a few nouns. We're gonna do the plural form of them. person got up first is a father, brother, man, and woman. All right. So the fathers is Abba, brother is Ak, man is Ayash. Woman is Asha. Right. As we do Chinese, all these Hebrew words are plural, right? Meaning more than one. And so Abba would be Abawat. Mother would be Akiyam. If you in school, you know, it'd be easy one for you to know. Man is Ayash Young. And the woman is Isha. Yeah, right. These are all. I'm not at the top of it. Yeah. All plural. These stands for. But these are all plural. All the plural form. Abawath, Akiyum. It's never Akiyums. Just to you never put the S at the end. The yum is what makes it plural. Ayash Yum.
It's a lot, because I tell you, because in English you would add the S. You know what I'm saying everything.
Certain words,
yes, in English, correct. But in the Hebrew, that you said that like that makes it plural.
Concept, yeah. So for these words, it makes it plural. Even word right here, what makes it plural too. You know, like I had the notes on it down so I could say it better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to misspeak, right?
Right.
Just like in English, there are certain we call it irregularities with the speech. You can say the same thing with the Hebrew, but that's in all languages.
Right.
Right. So certain things would be a normal way, like yeah, normally yom would be at the end, but yom is also the male plural ending, while the female plural ending would be yan.
Okay.
But see right here we have for woman, nah. I forgot this. Nasha young. No, come on, be nash young, right, for more than one woman. These is one of those irregularities that you have in the language.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like say for instance, like English, right? We know that like say word, like you say mouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that the plural form for mouse would just be mice.
Right.
But you know, English would have you thinking that that just be the same thing for everything.
Because you wouldn't put the S on mice, call it mice. It's not a word.
Right.
You just call it mice.
Okay. Same thing for goose. There'd be geese.
Right.
Cactus.
Cactus.
Just say cactus.
You don't say cactuses. Yeah. Which I've heard brothers use cactuses. Yeah.
Right. So so that's just one of the irregularities in language. Like that's in all languages. So it's nothing different there.
Well, it's excellent class. Huh? That's important.
Yeah. Again, but we'll just do the. I said we just put the. Do the ancient Hebrew down real quick. So All right. Again, we have the so it's the Paleo Hebrew for Abawat, fathers, Young, brothers, Ayash Young, men, and Nash Young, women. So, time for you guys to copy those down. Extra points for watching if you can write them in so like I didn't see a question earlier, sis. So in Hebrew, you're not reading left to right. In English, you read left to right. In English, Hebrew, you read right to left. All right. It's just I don't know if you heard go through it earlier. That's just you know what I'm saying? It's just that's the way it is. Like most countries read right to left. Anyway, like you heard me earlier, like English, one of those kind of language where it's kind of backwards when you read left to right.
Con, she's asking all. I think her question really is why in Hebrew we have to read from right to left. Like why do we read it from right to left in Hebrew?
I'll get back. I'll get back on that one. I believe I heard an explanation from Captain.
The question should be.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that shit. Eastern culture has always been to read everything from right to left, even like everything that's in Eastern, any language that you can think that originated in the Eastern Hemisphere, it was always from right to left. It wasn't until our oppressor came over to this Western Hemisphere and they started. That's Westernized language.
That's what I was going to say. The question should be why in English are we reading from left to right, not in Hebrew. Hebrew was first, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think she might have just got it backwards.
Like got backwards. You just turned that to the white man being a white man.
yeah, God.
You know what I'm saying? He's like the most I say, you can't make straight what he made crooked. You know what I'm saying? Just a man that he has to do everything backwards his way.
Right. Right. Most I say go right, he goes left. Most I say go up, he goes down. By nature, that's his nature.
His nature. His nature is to be combative in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why he's blessed with the sword. Sword, what you do so for combat. So any way he can be combative, he'll do it. So language, you know what I'm saying, art, whatever he can put his hands on, he'll flip upside down.
Right.
Yeah, even if you go into like the oldest nation that ever exists, according to history, is the Samaritans, and they not the Samaritans, I think it's the Sumerians, and their language is from right to left. So one of the oldest languages that you can find, which is the Sumerian language, was read from right to left. So it's always been that way until some cat decided he wanted to do something different. But yeah, that's just that simple. Ain't nothing spooky about it.
Right. Yeah. Not that when you just think about it, right? Because reading right to left, most people are right-handed anyway, so it's just more natural to read right to left.
Right.
That's the way you're writing anyway.
I said yeah. I said
no, like I said, like
even right from I would think. If you're right-handed, either to right from right to left, and it's to right from left to right.
Yeah, so right.
Yeah, so you're right.
Yeah, like my son, my youngest son, he's left-handed, so he has a horrible time writing, right to left. You know what I'm saying? He has to do a paper like papers on one side. His handwriting's all over the place.
Right. No, yeah, because it's just natural. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's all it says. It's nothing. It's like I said, you're talking to white man being a white man on that one.
And the language that I quoted, the Sumerian language, that's not the right language. I can't recall what it was, but the oldest languages, especially in the Eastern world, were always from right to left. I can't remember. It's not the Sumerian, so scratch that. But it is one of the
Yes.
oldest languages.
Yeah, so like I said, everybody else on the right track, just the white man got to be different. All right, we'll move on to a couple more plural nouns. Country, all right, so we got a country, animal, house, son, and then daughter. All right. So first up, that's a country, right? So people see a lot of be Iraq, Tazah, right? Let me write them all down. I'll go over in a second. Animal being Bahama, animals. House is Bayat.
He's working on his stuff.
Son, Juan, and daughter is Pop. Not pronounced bad. So, you're used to seeing things in the Hebrew, not the English. All right. So the first up, Ratazar, right? So you also here it says country, right? Which you've seen Ratazar, which we know means earth, land. Ratazar is just one of those words that that's kind of what it is. Your country is your land, right? So you which I have my notes. Yeah, but Ratazar, don't let it confuse you, right? You see it in place of country or land or earth, all that falls under Ratazar, which we know as it's like just know that it's written by that the Bible is written by black people because we just have many meanings for the same exact words. You know what I'm saying? Just ask somebody you straight the wrong way, you might end up in a fight. All right, so but we'll get to the support form of everything. So watch this out is gonna be Ratazayat. Animal's gonna be to be Bat Yum. All right. One of the ones we got the exceptions, right? In the rule. because you'll figure with daughter being Bath, you figure with daughter being Bath, that you just say Bath Yum for daughter. But we'll definitely get to that in a second. But if you see Bath Yum, just know that is talking about more than one house, not it's not talking about many daughters. All right, that's one can definitely confuse you if you don't know better. That's why it's important to study, important to check these classes, get some vocabularies down. It just helps you understand the language better. All right, so son is Manyam, many sons. All right, and then daughter would be Bon, right? What? All right, for the many daughters, right? So we're here with each word, plural, right? So these will be your plural form of words. So it's good to know your plural form words, that way you don't get things, mistaken. Like I said, just like it's good to know the plurals in Hebrew, you got to know the plurals in English, right? Some certain words in English are both singular and plural. Like you say house, right? House can be just that one house, or the house can be the houses. It's like not the house, but moose, right? Moose is a better one. You see a moose, it's just moose. You see a bunch of mooses, it's just moose, right? It's one of the things, like I said, exception to the rule, just like you have daughter and house be an exception to the rule as well, right? Where you will figure this would be Bath Yum or Bath, something like that. You figure the daughter being Bath would be Bath Yum. All right? But in reality, it's one of the changes so you don't get confused. Daughter is Bath, Banwat. So you guys do words in the Hebrew. You guys a second to copy it all down.
Yeah.
I helped out read two before I came in. Let's see how she. Arizona.
Again, for setting off good the connectors. Got right away. All right, so you got second copy that down. Then we'll just taking all that down. We'll do a few vocabulary words afterwards. Okay.
I gotta be.
I got my off the fridge.
it carry?
Count. All right. So with that said, you can everything back on the replay. All right. Make sure make sure everybody taking the time to read the Hebrew, catch up on the Hebrew, not catch up, but read it. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching the classes, all throughout, on Fridays, you know what I'm saying? When you get real down with it, some real good Hebrew lessons, you got to tune into that ISUPK headquarters, man. Also, Hazahad, off there, off Captain Hazahad, they, what I'm saying, really, really break down the Hebrew, what I'm saying, just, some story, immaculately, you know what I mean? Just, what I'm saying, just you tune into all the classes, ISUPK, Houston classes, Hebrew classes are good, you know what I mean? Just, I know learning a language is not fun. I know, I'm trying to learn Hebrew and Spanish right now. So, learning a new language is always difficult, it's always hard. It's not the greatest thing in the world to study, but it's helpful at the end of the day. Especially, we're trying to, take the kingdom back. The Bible says the kingdom comes not through observation. It's not going to, don't think Christian-minded, right, that Christ comes back and then we automatically going to know Hebrew. Not how that works. We got to be working right now to learn the language. But like everything, it's time and practice. We'll all get there eventually. All right, so right now we're gonna do just throw some vocabulary words for everybody. All right, we got above, against, among. We just do 4 each, so it's good. Yeah, a point. I like to differentiate with the colors. It's easier for you to look back on it. All right. So above is Ma'al. So above is right, so you can all be together, but this is just, this is Ma'al, right? For against you have Nagad. All right, for among is Bayan. Right. And the point is one I. Alright. So above is Ma'al, against is Nagad. Side point. Just so everybody knows, when you see, I know everybody sees, we want to pronounce it Gad, Nagad, because one of the tribes is a tribe of Gad, right? But in Hebrew, that would be pronounced God, right? But I'll look again for the reason why we don't pronounce it that way. But when you pronounce it, because you see the characters for Gad, right? It'd be the God and the Da. Remember, you're just combining the two words, so it wouldn't be God. Wouldn't be Gad, right? It would be God. But I guess it sounds too close to God. So I guess that just helps kind of differentiate. But this would be pronounced Nagad. You have Bayan and Wa'ai. All right? Change colors. Either then we just do the Paleo Hebrew. Extra points we can do it in the Syrian. God. Bayan. All right, so again, you have above, against, among, and the point. Right, that'd be Ma'al. You don't know, you hear I a lot when we say the salute to the sisters. You know what I'm saying? Nagad, against is Nagad, among is Bayan, and the point is Wa'ai. You got time to write it down. Yeah. It's time to catch up. I just want to try. I want to try at least at the hour mark. Right. Cool. All right, so move on to our last set. Words. Vocabulary, right. I apologize for handwriting. Before. Hold. Behind. And believe. All right, so behold, yes, before, behold, behind, and believe, right? So before in the Hebrew would be lapanya, lapanya. Behold would be hana. Behind would be ka. That's pretty fun. Handwriting, I've had the best penmanship. The Akarya. Right. I believe be Mayan. Right. So before it's lapanya, behold is hana, behind is akara, and believe is ha'amayan. All right. You can get those in the Paleo Hebrew for you. All right. Should put the marks that way you know not pronounce it. You have hana, right? You know, make sure you get that H sound on there because you know it'd be real easy to say hana, right? Makes like you're just saying the ha and the na. But there's the H at the end, and then there's the ha at the end, right? Make sure you're getting that H sound in there. Same thing with the akaya, right? Those are dry, but this ka is a little more guttural than the ka, right there, the upper ka, right? I mean, it just helps you differentiate. Make sure you're getting that whole word pronounced through. That way, you know, because it'll be hard. You know, just easy to say something, but you don't fully say the word of it. And somebody can take it a completely different way. The same thing, you know, you do it in English. You know, they say try being like, you know, we see that in English right now. You know, you go to a different part of the country. You know, the country folks talk different than the people from the Midwest. You know, things can get misconstrued. You know, now you in that fight you need to be in. That's a akar ya, right? That's behind. Then Mayan, right? Gotta be believe. Alright, you guys have made to write that down. Just put something on there.
Yeah, I know. Maybe trying to find a way to cut it off. Something.
But there's like a little tool you can put on the camera that can change the lens.
Yeah, but still, but it's coming from that, so we probably just have to loosen it before the blacks. You know what I mean?
All right. That's it. Yeah, so you need to get this down again. So you see everything again on the replay after the class is done. Get the vocabulary words. Like I said, tune into all the ISUPK Hebrew classes. All the classes throughout the whole week, of course. But the Hebrew classes too on Fridays. I know it's easier to want to skip on the Hebrew, not as fun to learn, versus getting those scripture breakdown, which is all important, but Hebrew is important as well for the language and building the kingdom, right?
That's right.
So it's, like I said earlier, obviously the kingdom comes not through observation, so Hebrew comes not through observation. You gotta put time into learning, right? That's what you gotta do. I know it's not fun. It ain't gonna happen no other way. All right, so again, this is the Friday Lashawan Qadash, the Hebrew class. Preaching Officer Razan. That's it. Pass class over to Preaching Officer Barak.
Did ISUPK security announcements? With ISUPK, start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. These are the rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They are to share themselves with the world, and if they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other, and after that 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. The word tithes means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give it to the Treasury Department or to the teacher. Priest funds, which are free will offerings for the priest, they are not mandatory, but they're whatsoever amount that you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocations, we got the Passover coming up April 15th. All right, Cocoa Beach, Florida. All right, make sure you go on isupk.com, pay your Passover funds. You can also book your hotel on there and all of that. All right. Make sure you get your affairs in order, your rental cars and all of that. Make sure if you come into the physical school location, you type in the school's address into your GPS. All right, that's going to help, of course, with our stats. And with that being said, also, if any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, make sure you start wearing all black, and that includes black boots, black shirt, black headband, and black scarf. With that, we'll get a teacher a courtesy salute. Men of Israel Imagine, which needs to stand. Men of Israel Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yahweh Shem Shabrakatah.
Yahweh Shem Shabrakatah.
Yahweh Matah. Class is dismissed.